I'm reading these stories of millennials getting close to their 40s with no family, no kids. They're listless. They're depressed. A lot of women. And that is terrifying. What happened to millennials where they're almost 40 and they're going, I don't know what I'm doing with my life. And I'm like, how do you not know? And I don't blame them as individuals for the world around them. They didn't learn. And what have we done as a society that created people that don't understand what to do with their lives? I think we have to make sure the next generation and the younger people today learn there is a path towards success. There is a means to doing it. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. And going down this weird leftist path of darkness will leave you with nothing but misery.
Well, yeah, I mean, because leftism created the ideal person for a leftist is just the best consumer. So it's like a 40-year-old with no kids. All they're going to do is just buy products all day to fill that void in their soul because they've stripped them of all their identity. They've stripped them of the potential to be a father or a mother. They've stripped them of being an American. They've stripped them of being a child of God. They've stripped them from all these different things. They've ripped away every label from them. So all that's left is just being a consumer and buying products, and that just trying to fill that soul void in their soul.
And I got to give it to Andrew Tate on this one because he had a really funny tweet where he said something like, the worst thing about being rich is that there's nothing left to buy, so you just drive around looking for steak. And I actually, it's funny. Because that's basically what, like, when we're like, what do you want to do for the weekend? It's like, let's find another restaurant and hang out and have drinks and good food. But it's not, I think for Andrew, he's sure. I wouldn't know about not being able to buy anything you want, like he's saying. But this point about driving around and just trying to find steak is true for all adults. And I think the real proposition is what he's revealing, and what I think a lot of these millennials are revealing when they say that they don't know what to do with their lives is they didn't have kids. Mm-hmm. And I would just say to everybody, have kids now. Don't wait. I'm turning 40 in a few months, and I just had my first kid, and I should have had a kid way long ago. In my own defense, I was very poor when I was in my 20s and didn't have a place to live. I was,
Yeah, but that's Tucker and Charlie had this great clip that would go viral every couple months. And it was Tucker, like, Charlie goes, hey, do you have any life advice for our students? You're about to see them. Ryan knows the clip I'm talking about. And Tucker goes, get married, have more children than you can afford. Take a job you're not qualified for. Live boldly. He's like, and he says, I've wasted more money in my life than I can remember. But he's like, it was fine. All the room service was worth it. It was fine. He says, but the real bitter pill for him to swallow is the time he wasted.
Yeah.
And so you said that, when you said you have kids now, it's like, yes, don't wait. Even me, me and my wife, we have 3 kids, I guess we're sort of on the timeline that, you would kind of expect or what. But even me, I'm like, man, I kind of wish I would have started a little earlier.
Yeah.
I will say, like, if I had, so I was sleeping on couches and partially homeless. There was no opportunity for me.
There is some threshold that we,
but I say this because I know there are people out there that are like, I wish I could. The argument is, if you are in the lower income category but stable, have kids.
Yeah, but exactly. So if you have this image in your head of like, well, I want to make sure I have like the at least a 3-bedroom house and be able to afford that, and I don't want to be renting. I want to have like bought it. No, just listen. Children are a blessing. It's a value statement that you have children. You get married because of the value systems you hold. You don't because people have told you it's a burden. People have told you that it is going to weigh you down, that it's gonna totally demolish your plans.
Those are demons.
No, here's what's true. When you get married, like I believe this with all my heart, God will bring the provision. Mm-hmm. God will find a way to help you take care of your kids. And if you commit to your family, I believe that's true.
I'll add this. All of that's a lie. The idea of a burden. The studies are coming out saying, oh, actually, women with kids are much happier.
Oh, that Atlantic article.
Yeah. Yep. Oh heavens, who would have thought after millennia of human generation, they were like, oh, actually, women like having kids. They're lying the whole time. I can only say this because I know most people have had kids who are watching and younger than me. Not a burden. Not a burden.
Yeah. It's
not
like, by the way, in this time, I will just say, like, I've been away from my family a lot since it happened. And, I was leaving yesterday and my kids just like lost it just when I was leaving. And when I come back to them, they tackle me and like, I love you. And they give me kisses and all this stuff. I'm like, that emotional connection is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
It is. There is no steak you can eat. There is no car you can buy. There is no job you can work. There is nothing that even comes close to that. And by the way, it's a lot of work. I'm not trying to like sugarcoat. It comes with a lot of work, but that transforms you into a person that can have even more joy.
Yeah. Well,
It's if it weren't true, humans wouldn't exist. So I posit this to liberals all the time when they say things like, "Kids aren't for me." I'm like, you will love it so much you have no idea, because if it wasn't the case, humans would have gone extinct a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, but it also maybe speak to this, because I know it's true for me. Like, it changes you. Like, you become a better human. Only, by the way, this only counts if you don't just be like, leave your baby mama and, never.
Yeah, some people are.
So that's not what we're talking about. If you commit yourself to it, it will make you a tremendously better person.
Well, because it's lifestyle behaviors that acknowledge the reality that you're an eternal being, like spiritually, but that the world's going to go on after you die. And a lot of people can't accept their own mortality. And that's what's so beautiful about children. That's what's so beautiful about investing and loving your country, investing and loving in your church and your community, because these things will outlast you. And so the other side is just,
it's nihilism.
It's nihilism. It's just buy a bunch of Funko Pops and like try to ignore that voice in the back of your head saying, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. Invest in things that are lasting, that will last beyond you, that
are difficult
in
to
some
do.
degree are eternal.
All right, guys, you guys. All right, I'm gonna have babies tonight. All right, I'm in Phoenix, Arizona.
It's your turn.
Watch out, Phoenix.
Come out.
Maybe we
the
crawl
Uber.
before we walk.
What's the Airbnb we're staying at right now? Let's have as many as we can. But no, a lot of nurses always report talking to people when they're on their deathbed. And it's never that people regret working too hard. It's always that they never spent enough time with their family, with their loved ones. So, the idea, it's been brewing in my head, and especially after everything that happened with Charlie, it's even brewing in my head even more that this is something that I want.
Good, man.
And
It's been a lot of that, by the way.
And there's a lot of stress,
yeah.
and there's also a lot of pressure.
Church, too.
And there's also a lot of people, if you look at a lot of the pollings, the data is highlighting how young men want to have families and kids, but young women don't, more and more.
They want a career.
That's the terrifying aspect.
They want the thing that
of all of this.
They want the thing that when you're in your deathbed, to your point, you don't even care about.
Yeah.
Why, like, how did that lie get implanted in their brains? But literally, to your point, if you have this fact that at your deathbed, everybody wants to be surrounded by their loved ones. They don't think about the job. They don't think about any of that. They think about the people closest to them. That's the thing that will matter most to you on your deathbed.
Yep.
You should live your life in reverse, thinking about that truth, right? And yet somehow young women have believed a lie that the thing they care about most is their career.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what my great-grandparents did for work. I just know I have a ton of cousins, and it's a beautiful thing.
There's a little bit of hypocrisy in me saying this, and I acknowledge that, but also go to church.
Yeah.
It was, we had a Catholic priest on the Culture War talking about exorcisms, and he asked me, he asked me, I said, I grew up Catholic. He's like, oh, so you're a baptized Catholic? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, so you still are, you haven't come back yet. And I was like, sure. I'm not a Christian. I'm not going to pretend to be. There are a lot of people that I think try to play that angle because it'll get them followers or whatever. I do believe in God, but I recognize the function of church and how important it was to our civilization, a weekly gathering place of people of shared moral values and tradition that allowed a society to anchor itself. And what's happened over the past generation, especially with my generation, they don't go to church. They don't have a place. And I think it's left a void in young people, millennials. And so they tried to fill it with some kind of purpose, and they found wokeness. An amorphous, nondescript, nebulous, non-theistic religion. They have jammed into the holes in their chest, and they have tried to find ways to feel like they matter. And they're doing bad things because of it. Simply described as, with the vacant hearts they have, they've stuffed them full of demons.
Yeah.
So what we've talked about quite a bit is I call it the Saturday morning cartoons. We're trying to do with our cafe, where Saturday mornings, to not interfere with church, parents bring their kids. We'll do catered breakfast. The plan for this may be coming very, very soon. Very excited for this. So the work is getting done. Mamba Collectibles, go check it out. Half the building's already open. You can hang out in Martinsburg, West Virginia. But the idea is to start with a place where people can come and hang out. Their kids can come together and they can meet on shared moral values. Step one. Whether they advance beyond that to faith, religion, or church, or whatever, is not something that I can, commit to or comment on. Is not somebody who does that. But I want to at least create that functional space where community will come together. It does already exist for those that go to church.
Yeah.
Yeah, and demonic possession is real.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
I've seen it in real life. I don't want to speak about my experiences, but when we look at a lot of the ideas that a lot of these people are kind of centralizing around lust, pride, envy, when we look at all of those virtues, it's sold to us as social media clout. It's sold to us like we should try to achieve those things for some kind of fake artificial like or community, but in reality, when you kind of delve into a lot of those things, they're extremely empty and they kind of take away your soul. And and I believe there are aspects of mainline kind of establishment society, very kind of powerful individuals out there that do want to spread demonic possession, that do want to spread evil, and are doing it in record numbers now.
That's why we had a priest on to talk about exorcisms, because something's out there. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.